Some in the Trump orbit seem to think Patel and/or Paxton could make sense. Joining me now, Peter Navarro, former Trump White House advisor and author of the new MAGA Deal, the Unofficial Deplorables Guide to Donald Trump's 2020 foreign policy platform. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. All right, so look, you've said some wacky stuff in the past as well.
Like what, Dan? You show me wacky stuff.
About overturning the election, about all the
tariffs on China. That's pretty wacky.
The 2020
that worked.
If you're asking, it's all about the 2020 fraud stuff. I don't know you want to debate that right now.
Well, I think, look, I stand by my 3-volume Navarro report, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. I think what's important now is Donald Trump's moving in lightning speed compared to the first time around. This is not his first rodeo. Yep. He's making some great choices. I mean, if you have to look at Kristi Noem and Tom Homan as a package. They're the velvet hammer. Tom's going to be the guy who's going to round up all the criminals and deport them. Kristi Noem is going to be the velvet to that hammer, who is going to be the public face when there's going to be women and children as part of the whole mass deportation. John Radcliffe, that's a beautiful thing. He was on the House Intelligence Committee, and then he was the director of national intelligence, clearly has the chops. Kash Patel, by the way, was his senior deputy there, and the two of them were the ones who basically outed the Russia hoax. If it hadn't been for Kash Patel and John Radcliffe, that Russia hoax would be fact instead of what it is.
Well,
hoax. If you look at Bill McGinley, I love this one.
But hang on, I want to stop on Kash Patel for a minute. All right, let's focus on Kash Patel for a minute. Okay, I mean, you think that Kash Patel ought to have a senior position in the administration? I mean, this is a guy who is clearly threatening to go after political enemies, the sort of thing that you've said that Trump shouldn't be talking about, right? I think you were smart in terms of the campaign. You were saying that Trump's got to stop talking that way. And here's Kash Patel in 2023 talking to Steve Bannon.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
I had Jim Jordan on the show the other day, and he was describing the Republican Party as the party of the First Amendment. That sure doesn't sound that way when it comes to Kash Patel.
Okay, let's first of all distinguish between accountability and retribution. The boss isn't into retribution, either is Kash, but I think there's a very strong feeling in Trump world that if we do not hold accountable people like Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Fani Willis, Jack Smith, and Merrick Garland accountable
what does that mean?
The election interference. Hang on.
What does that mean, accountable?
If we don't hold them accountable, then they'll do it again once they get back in power. I went to prison, and
I know you did because you refused. But you know what?
Democrat.
Yours was pretty straightforward, Peter. Yours was pretty straightforward. You had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity not to go to prison, and you decided that it was worth it to you.
True.
Of course it's true.
What are you saying here? What are you saying? I was subpoenaed by the Congress of Democrats.
Right.
I refused to testify based on DOJ policy and the constitutional separation of powers. I was defending executive.
You took a position that was not that
principal position. What am I going to do, Dan?
What do you mean? What are you going to do? You'll do what everyone else does, which is testify. You do what everyone else does. You either testify or at the least you respond and you exchange information with Congress.
There's so many examples, Dan.
There are of people who don't testify
citing executive privilege who weren't prosecuted.
That's true. You know why?
The guy who done it. It was Democrats. Come on, Dan.
You know why?
I mean, just look at my situation.
Let's talk about
what's more important here is these appointments, Dan. Let's focus on that. Tomorrow's a big day. Senate Republicans are going to choose a majority leader. And if they choose the right majority leader, Donald Trump's going to get a recess, and then he's going to do recess appointments. He's going to have a clear path to putting in place the people who will fulfill his election mandate. And you will see people like Kash Patel, by the way, as part of that. If that's not happening tomorrow, if John Thune or John Cornyn get control of the Senate like Mitch McConnell did, we're not going to have a Trump cabinet. It's going to be the same kind of chaos we had.
Come on. The idea that John Thune or Cornyn won't support a Trump, they might say no to someone like Kash Patel. They might say no to someone like Ken Paxton. Do you think Ken Paxton should be Attorney General?
Dan,
really?
You have to do your homework here.
Tell me what I didn't do.
Okay? There's 4,000 appointments that have to be filled. 1,000 of those our Senate confirmed. 1,000. Right. And 4 years of Mitch McConnell, who is just the puppeteer for Thune Cornyn, we didn't get half of those. And it took 100 days to get 80% of the Trump cabinet, just the secretaries. We didn't get our deputies, undersecretaries, assistants.
Right.
And it's a big deal, Dan. So don't tell me democracy is working when the party that holds the Senate,
I know that
party, gets in the way of appointments.
Right, because the Senate shouldn't have a role according to your democracy, even though that's what it says in the Constitution. They should ignore their role. You asked me to do my homework? That's one thing I kind of did my homework on.
The people who are the Senate majority leaders, or the Senate majority leader, should be somebody who supports the Trump landslide. Look, the people of America have spoken now. They want an end to inflation. They want secure borders. They want mass deportations.
The idea that Cornyn and
Thune, all of that. They're not going to get it if you put pussies in the cabinet.
But the idea, again, putting that aside for a minute, you can pick people who aren't the word you just used, and still aren't Ken Paxton's, who where people.
Word, Dan.
I understand. Whatever. Look, the point is where people are not someone like Paxton, who was literally impeached by his own party.
Right. Well, okay, so here's the thing. You're putting that out there, but I know the details of that impeachment. It was just BS.
I get it. You don't like it, and you don't like the settlement he engaged in. I know.
People who impeached Ken Paxton are worthless scum who supported open borders down there. So I will defend Ken Paxton on that.
Right.
I'll defend Kash Patel.
I know you will.
On his efforts to uncover the Russia hoax. Read his book, Government Gangsters. I don't want to be a marketeer for his book. Kash Patel has nothing but the American public's interest at heart. And I think what's happening here is a kind of slam job that's going out there. He's a good man.
A good man who loves a little QAnon action. Peter Navarro.
You know, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that stuff I don't know about. Yeah, I got it.
That wasn't what he said.
This is why Peter Navarro's take is so interesting. Peter Navarro, thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
No problem.